Shut up, will ya? Oh, look at that picture quality. Oh.
What are you talking about? You being
serious? I like that, yeah. When people say analog FPV and they want to get the best of the best, two brands come to mind. We usually have the Fatsharks or the Sky Zones, but today we're going to be checking out these newcomers. We're talking OLEDs, quad diversity, some very, very cool stuff, and from a brand not many people have heard of. G'day, Stu from UAVfutures here, and today, well, what we are checking out, this is the X-Flip FPV goggle. This bad boy, it's an analog OLED, high-res, quad diversity, very, very super adjustable little FPV headset, and the crazy part, it's from a company we've never heard of, so I've never heard of it anyway. X-Flip seems to be relatively new into the FPV scene, and let me tell you, for their new goggle, something that's just come onto the market, for their first try, it's actually pretty kind of cool, so very, very exciting stuff. Now, we're going to be referencing the HD02s, we're also the Sky Zone 030s, we'll talk about them as well. I'm going to put them to the side because we will bring them up in just a little bit. What we're going to do in this video, we're going to go through, we're going to break down the X-Flip goggles, we're going to find out just how well they go, talk about the pros, the cons, we'll take them out to the field, we'll fly them around, we'll talk about the screens, the resolutions, show you the DVR, all that sort of stuff. But I want to say before we get started, this is like a trial pair of goggles. So I've been testing this for a little while. You will have noticed mine's in Chinese in the menu that's in there. I didn't get a full set of instructions. Mine didn't come with a battery. It's not really the final version that I've got. So maybe some of these things might change. I'll see if I can put some more information. Check the description. Some things might change about these goggles in the final release. But let's do it. What is this? As an overview, this is an analog set of goggles, so it's really going to be going after you racers out there or people who don't want to move over to digital. It's got beautiful big OLED Sony displays in there. It looks gorgeous. It's rocking quad diversity. And all in all, it's kind of a little bit crazy because we also have some very, very nice adjustments on the inside, which I think are actually doing some things better than the Fatshark HDOs. Also, some of the little extras, we'll get those out of the way because I didn't get too many of them. Of course, you get a big carrying case. You get a strange battery cord, which is okay. It's not my favorite. I wish they'd change some things. There is a battery. I'll see if I can put a picture on the screen as well of the battery that's meant to come with it. Of course, my trial version, that didn't happen. And there's some little quad diversity tabs that go on the outside. There disappeared somewhere in the studio. I don't know where they are because look, they didn't fit on mine once I put my modules in here, and we'll talk about that in the pros and the cons as well. But let's do it. As an overview, let's stick it on my little scales right here. From memory, it was about 250 grams. There we go, 248 grams. Hopefully that's in shot. And just as a bit of a comparison, if we put that against some Sky Zones, I know these aren't the OLED Sky Zones I've got here. They're about 200 grams. So it's a little bit heavier. You're probably looking at about the same weight as the HD02s once everything is all set up and running. If we start at the outside, we're going to go around it, and then we'll talk about the screens in just a little bit as well. Of course, the big one, not only do you have this crazy big shiny mirror on the front, is that a good thing? Is that a bad thing? Well, I'll leave that up to you. I mean, just how cool do I look when this is on my face? Hello, ladies. Hello, ladies. But you can see we've got quad diversity, so you can put in two modules in here, one in each side, so you should be able to fly around and get some insane reception. Is that a gimmick? Well, you know, we'll talk about that in the field as well, and in the pros and cons. Of course, going through the buttons, we've got a power switch. That's fantastic. On their first iteration, they were able to put something in that took Fatshark about 7 years and thousands of people asking for it. We've got our little source in button, our little record button to start our DVR controls, our menu to change some of the stuff. My menu's in Chinese, so it doesn't mean anything to me. I can't read it and tell you what it says. We've got our band and channel button, and also an auto scan or a search function. I really hate auto scan. If you are auto scanning, oh my gosh, I am going to be frustrated at you. Flipping it over, you can see we have a nice big comfy pad, which is on the front right here. And I got to say, I do really like the faceplate. It fits well, and the screens are delicious. We've got a big, thick headband at the back, so it seems to be like they're learning a little bit. I do like the band. It's a little bit too small though. I like how thick it is, but it's just a little bit too small. Also, right here, let's go through some of the other parts. We've got our headphone jack. Of course, we've got our power. Let me get this in better shot. We've got our power over this side. Our AV in if we want to run some analog in. HDMI. These two parts, you can turn off each receiver individually. I don't really know why you'd want to do that though, so I don't know. So that's on there, the on and off for each receiver bay. And then we have our fans toggle in the middle, and I absolutely love this little fan switch here. Why? Because it's just nice to know, is this on? It's not like there's no second guessing. adjusting. You know whether your fan is on or off based on the position of the switch. So I really, really like that. However, the fan is noisy as all get out. When you crank it up to max settings, it's kind of hard to put it in the middle. It just doesn't feel nice, I guess, with the amount of noise that's coming out of here. So you will hear that in the field review when we're out there. And then we get onto here. We've got our IPD and Doppler adjustments, and let me tell you, it is absolutely gorgeous. The way this works, you can obviously slide it back for your IPD, so it's going to focus on your pupils, but also when I put the ranges up on the screen, also what I love is you can scroll by twisting this also in and out, and I'll put another picture on the screen. You can adjust how close or far away the lens is, the screen is. Now this is different to the Fatshark HD02s, because you can see when we adjust them on the Fatshark HD02s, the lens actually is the part that moves up and down, and my problem is when they were close to me, I could feel them on my eyelashes and it just was really, really off-putting. The X Flip do things a little bit differently. They don't move the screens. Let me get this band out of the way. They don't move the screens. What they actually do is they move the lens behind them. So the lens behind it is the part that's moving back and forth, and that is fantastic because the lens is in the perfect place, but the screen is moving further and closer away from you. So you're not going to get it rubbing on your eyelashes, which is a huge problem that came up with the Fatshark HD02s. That is one of the main reasons why I don't fly this goggle. Also, mine came broken out of the box. The DVR didn't work on my Anyway, I digress. But this screen right here, talking about the screens themselves, so we've got those fantastic adjustments. I think they are very, very well refined. They feel great. They feel solid. There's not much play in them, I guess. When you adjust them just a little bit, it feels really firm, so it's not going to be slipping over the place. The tolerance in the adjustments, I should say, is very, very nice. Now, the screens themselves, we have some gorgeous Sony OLED displays. That's right, OLEDs, and I think from memory, it's 1024 resolution by 768. I could be wrong. A lot of numbers to remember. I'll put it on the screen. 4x3, they look fantastic. So the screens themselves, very, very nice. Now, also, I should mention a big one. How much are they? They are $355. So that's right.
Whoa. Settle down, Stuart. Now, at the time that I was recording this, that was their original price, like $355. I'm jumping back here just before I edit this out to you guys. I want to say I checked their price again. It's down to $289. So everything we talk about in this goggle performance-wise, take that. That's all absolutely accurate. But when it comes to the price, and I talked to Trevor and Granger about value for money, you've got to remember, we expected this goggle to be about $90 more than it actually is. So we're down now to $289, not the $350 we first thought it was. So when you watch the rest of this review, keep this in mind. It is significantly cheaper than when we first checked it out.
Nice. Ladies and gents, that's a big kicker. They're kind of expensive for what they are, because we've got some known name brands, we've got some brands, some well-known brands right here. When we talk Fatshark, Sky Zones, they can be very pricey. I think Fatshark's like $400. Sky Zones can be about $400 as well, depending on what model you're going to be getting. Yes, they are cheap for an analog FPV OLED display with a big resolution. However, you are kind of getting up there close to some DJI prices as well. So if you're going to be getting these, well, maybe it's worth getting some DJI ones. It's very, very tough now to sell that, especially someone coming into the hobby. They're about to drop a bunch of cash. They want the best of the best. An analog goggle, I think, is really more suited to racers. If you're just into everyday flying around in the park and you want to drop a ton of cash, I think you're going to be better off with a digital experience. Anyway, now let's do it. Now moving on, let's talk about the design a little bit before we go out to the field, fly it around, and look, what can I say? It's a comfy pair of goggles on your face. The only part I would like to change is probably the band is a little bit tight, but the one shape here that I do not like, I don't know how I feel about this little what do you call it, shiny reflective bit at the front, but the one part I do not like, when you put your modules in the side so you can get some quad diversity, it is not going to fit all modules based, like if I tried to put this wildfire in here, it just didn't fit, because based on the case and the shape and everything like that, we've got an entire new shape of our shell housing. So you do get some little covers that go over it, and look, I don't know where mine are in the studio. They're somewhere around here, but they didn't fit when I put all my modules in here. Some modules are too wide, and that is a huge bummer. They need to think, right, they need to look at all the models on the market and send you a whole bunch of 3D printed shells or whatever it's going to be, so it doesn't matter what module you're going to get, you can clip that in, and then also clip the case over the top of it to keep nice and secure. Yes, you could put a bit of double-sided tape in here. I didn't do that in my review because I don't want my modules permanently stuck inside this goggle. It probably wouldn't be an issue. If you owned this goggle and you put some tape on here, you're going to be fine. You're not going to be taking your modules out all the time. But as a reviewer, I just felt like that, need to be refined a little bit more. Moving on, if we talk about the pros and the cons before we take it out, rip it around, and talk about the flight experience. Pros, things I like. I love the screens, I love the adjustments, I love the comfort of the faceplate. I do like how it's got quad diversity, but I don't think that that's really a selling point. For me, I'm more than happy with just a standard module. I don't think I need that quad diversity, and does it even offer a benefit? I'm not too sure. Plus, when it comes to the menu, because it's all in Chinese, I'm not too sure if I'm setting it up correctly in there. Is it switching between the two? Is it using quad diversity? Is it just using single diversity? Is it just using one side versus the other? I don't know. And how do these buttons correspond when you're scanning band up and channel up? Does it change one? Does it change the other? It can be a bit hit and miss in that regard. Why? Well, I guess I can't read Chinese, so I'm not entirely sure how the whole substructure of the menus and the OSDs and the buttons affect when you've got two modules in here at once. But look, that's it on the bench. What we should do, let's go out of the field, fly it around, and then we can come in and find out our final thoughts on these goggles. Are the X-Flips worth it? What are they like for a first competitor on the market? Are you looking at a set of analog goggles? That's pretty cool how they can spin like that. And also, some things that they could do in the future to improve. So let's do it. Go have some fun with the boys in 3, 2, 1. Radio out here in the field with some FPV legends. We've got this gentleman. Now, if you don't know who that is, he used to have long hair. It is our resident racer, Granger FPV. He's cut all his hair off. He can just go, you know, disappear. And we've got the grumpy bugger himself, Grumpy Trev GT. We are here. We're going to be flying around, getting their impressions on these crazy goggles that turned up. They are the X-Flip OLEDs. They're about $360 US, so fairly pricey. Shut up, will ya? Shut up. We're going to fly around, show you some DVR, and see what they think as well. And of course, quad diversity. So let's do it and show you some DVR, give you my impressions, and then hand it over to those two boys and see what they think. We're recording. Oh God, I've gone into some weird menu. And it's in Chinese.
Just unplug and plug in.
Oh no, what am I doing here? Oh, we're cycling through. That's stop that. I don't want to do the search. Oh, Jesus. Oh, we're back into the DVR menu. It's in China. How about I just turn it off and on, right? Come on, off. There we go. Now, when in doubt, rip it out. Oh, now we're getting this side of the module. This one's kicking in. All right, this one's on, I want to be on R3. Oh yeah, that went to R3 on that one. All right, and it's recording, it's flashing. It's go time, ladies and gentlemen. The X-Flip. I don't know how this is going to go, Trev.
You look really...
All right, how do I look? Style out of 10. The band, I think, is too small. If you've got a big head, there's no way any of us are going to get
I
hit.
can actually see myself.
Yeah, very shiny. The screen is quite large. I will say the screen looks good. They're not the most comfortable on their face, but they're also not, they're not digging in. It's just tight. Like the band is too small, so I can feel them pressing up here. I have like a halo effect. It reminds me of the Fatsharks, the HDO2s, where you've got kind of that circle, and then you look through, there's a box in there. It looks like it's a 4:3 image, and look, it's
glad you clarified that. I thought you said you had a halo above your head.
It's not terrible. And I'd like the double adjustments. You can, oh, that is good. Actually, I do think they have a nicer way of adjusting than the Fatsharks. Let's get this into focus. Oh yeah, I do like the twisty knobs underneath. Now I'm going to stand back from my drone. I think it's over there, right? Are we clear?
Yep.
All right, we are well and truly clear. Let's do it. I'm hoping the DVR is working. Is there a record button up the top or something, Trev?
Yeah, there is. Your fingers on it.
That one?
Yep.
All right, now it's stopped. Let's see if we can start again. Record. It's flashing on the screen, so at least that part is good. Is my radio on? Probably not. I'm flying around with the right radio.
TX16?
No, I need a different radio.
Oh.
We need the jumper T18.
We'll be right back after this commercial break, people.
Yeah, if we rolled a commercial, then that would be perfect.
Always turn your radio on before you plug the cord in, alright?
We're good. We're golden. Oh gee, it's all fogged up now. Where's the fan button? All right, here we go. I have no idea how the diversity is going to go, because I'm not sure if both the modules are on the same frequency. So I'm going to try and stay relatively close. The image is a little bit blurry. The fan's not working. I don't know what you guys are laughing about.
Nothing.
Hovering around here. Let's, man, I really need that fan turned on. They are fogging up. I can feel it pressing on my face. There's no light leakage or anything like that. The colors look good. They are vibrant, but maybe a little bit dark. Like it's, they've reduced the saturation or something on here. I'm not too sure if that's going to come through on the DVR. And one problem is it was all in Chinese. So trying to go through some of the menus, except for the DVR playback menu, when I'd go into the menu, yeah, unless you can read Chinese, it might be a little bit tricky. Now, I know these are an early pair of goggles. Maybe they want some feedback on it. I would say reduce the band tension, absolutely. Give us a better manual so we can understand it a little bit better. I need to land. I actually need to bring this in because it's very foggy right here, and I don't know where the fan button is. Let's do this. And we've got a brand new radio here too, which doesn't make it ideal. Bear with me. I'm going to clean the goggle. Thanks, Granger. Fan, channel, record, band, search, power. Is there, oh, actually, I do like this. You've actually got a dial, a switch that tells you, you know, you don't have to worry about, I think I prefer that so you can know it's on off. Can you hear that?
Oh, it's noisy.
It's a very noisy fan. All right, that's a bit better. We've cleared up all that fog. Let me readjust these again. Okay. Go for a little spin. What do I think about the quad diversity? I don't know if it's really necessary. I think even with just one standard good unit, you know, it's also going to make the price even more expensive. Maybe if you had like 4 patch antennas running around, but then it's better suited to like a ground station or something. Overall, look, the colors are dark, but strange saturation. I'm getting a few lines in the screen. I don't know if that's going to come through in the DVR or not. It's tight on my face. They are still better than a lot of goggles out there. I'd still prefer my Sky Zones. I think the Sky Zones are just a better refined goggle. These might have a better screen and they might have some potential to be a better goggle, but at the moment, the execution is a little bit lackluster. So, I don't know. For me, it's, and especially for that price, like $350 US, that's a pair of DJI goggles, and that is an extremely hard sell. Anyway, what I'll do, I'll bring it in and we'll see what the other boys think as well. Hopefully this DVR came through. If it didn't, well, good one, goggle DVR. Let's press the button, see if it says stop. There we go, no DVR now, so I think that's good. If you could unplug, that'd be great, Granger. And Trev, do I have a mark on my face?
Yeah.
Just around here, that's where it felt like it was cushy, it wasn't digging in, but you could definitely feel it pressing there, and the foam was really pressing in. Feel it just here, and that is with the bands at the maximum extension. Quite noisy. I'm going to turn this off. Actually, I'm going to unplug it, then we'll hand it over to Grumpy Trev and see what he thinks. Radio GT, so we've got the X flips, the multi-antenna quad diverse, or I should say dual diversity quad antenna, FPV goggles, OLEDs, big screen, $360. First impressions, you've seen how fashionable I look with them on my face.
Yeah, well, I've got to tell you, for design, they look really crap.
Okay.
They've put this thing on here to try and hide how bad.
You don't think you look cool?
No, I just reckon they're a really crappy looking pair of goggles.
Something I'm noticing here too, I don't like how flimsy the modules that feels on the outside. I know they come with a case, but it didn't fit the little modules that I wanted to put in there.
Yeah, so look, they want to perform good. It really doesn't matter how ugly they are, I suppose. If they perform okay, that'll be okay, but yeah.
Should we do it?
Yeah, let's just have a look at them, see how good they are.
You can put them on your face. I'll give you the antenna, I'll give you the cable actually, so you need to put that in your pocket.
Which side?
And it's underneath. Trev's got his original Armaton cap on.
It's only because I don't want to get sunburnt.
Yep.
Yeah.
Woo!
Bit bright, wasn't
it? More hair than Granger.
I didn't flash you, did I?
Right, now this is at maximum extension.
How do you turn them on?
The power button. Oh, they light up. The front of them says X flip. I don't know if this is going to come up.
Oh.
And Granger, if you could plug in a battery. Look at that, we've got
Oh yeah, they're fogging up pretty quick.
yeah, oh yeah, you got your little fan switch
Yeah.
underneath. What do you think about that, having an actual switch
Yeah,
you can move
the
back
switch
and
for the,
forward?
geez, it works quick. But have a listen to the friggin' thing.
Maybe if we just bash it a bit.
Oh,
No, that doesn't work.
no.
Alright. And we've also got a new radio, but we'll talk about that another time.
Oh, like those adjustments underneath for your PD, that's pretty cool.
Oh, you like that? How you can move them back
Oh,
and
that's
forth?
a great
in and
idea.
out?
Yeah. So, yeah, well, that's innovative.
Well, we've had them out for a little while though, but it's nice
Yeah.
to see them coming into most goggles. But they'd want to. What do you think about the price?
Yeah, well, I think, look, yeah, guess the controller here.
Alright.
We'll just see what they're like.
Top right. Make sure you pitch forward a little bit so you don't come back into your face. There you go. You're good. There you go. You're away.
Oh,
Alright.
colour's nice. There's no breakup. I'm right down the end of the field.
And we don't have a patch on. We've just got a
No,
whole bunch
it's,
of random assortments. But we're not really talking about the modules themselves. I want to know more about the goggles. So the screen size, what would you say?
Yeah, it's very impressed with the size of the screen.
Bigger than your Omways?
Yeah, oh, yeah. Yeah, look, picture's nice, it's clear. The goggles a bit uncomfortable though, they're a little bit tight.
Yes.
Look, oh, that fan is so, it sounds like a
Do you, want me
mozzie.
to, do you want me to turn the fan
Yeah,
off?
turn the fan off, yeah.
Sorry, Trevor, I'm just picking your nose here, mate.
Yeah. Oh, that's better. That is a noisy fan.
Yep.
Yeah, if you've got a hangover, you wouldn't like the fan, I can tell you.
Okay.
Oh, look, the goggles are nice. They're,
Are they better than you thought they were going to be?
yeah, they are way better. They're ugly, but they work well. As I said, look, doesn't matter how they look. They're just, as long as they work.
All right. What
But-
about what would you say performance out of 10 for an FPV goggle? Are you getting any blurring? Can you see the whole image? Can you see
Yeah,
all the sides or anything?
Yeah, look, as far as that goes, the image is clear all the way around. I'm really impressed with that. Look, I'd certainly fly with them. They're not that uncomfortable, but they're ugly.
And
so,
they press in. Do you find that? Like they're not.
Yeah.
It's not uncomfy, but it's tight.
yep.
Input your innuendos in there.
Yes, I think. Look, value for money.
Yeah. What about that for $350?
No, I'm afraid that the diversity thing, it's just a bit overdone. It's more of a gimmick. I can't see why you need friggin' 4 antennas. I just, it's a bit
That's
of a.
more money too. You know, by the time you buy 2 antennas plus another module.
Oh, they don't come with modules
No,
either,
they
do
don't,
they?
no.
So, yeah, this thing. Well, in that case, if you have doesn't come with a module, this thing is way overpriced.
All right.
The yeah, nice goggle, but too dear. I'd rather have a set of DJIs for that price.
Yeah, it's getting up there for an extra.
Yeah.
By the time you probably buy the modules and some antennas, even the cheapest versions, you're probably around a DJI on sale. So.
I'll bring it in because it's
All right. Do you want me to hit the disarm switch when you're nice and
yeah.
All right. I know you're getting old, so I'll help you out. Flip, nice landing in the grass. We'll get our assistant to go and get it. Thank you very much, Assistant Granger. I'll pay you in exposure. So here we go. Trevor, final thoughts on the X Flip goggles, $370. Performance, you thought they were pretty good?
Oh, look, performance, really, they're as good as any other goggle I've tried, and some of the good ones we've tried. So, look, 10 out of 10 for performance. It really is nice. The picture's clear.
Yep. Value?
Value, it's way too expensive.
Okay. What would you like to see a goggle like this price for?
Look,
We've got to press a button. I think I'm going to check the DVR still. We're going. All right, we're good. Yep.
probably $250 would be a more reasonable price.
Okay. And what about the design of the thing? Because I can straight away see some things I would like to change.
Yeah, well, it's ugly.
Okay. I don't care about the looks, but yeah, all right.
You definitely need something really good to hold these in.
Yes.
Uh,
That's probably my number one concern.
you could
as well.
probably stick some double-sided tape on the back, but they're still exposed, so they need some sort of covering.
Yep.
The fan's too noisy. Way noisy. Noisiest fan I've ever heard in anything. But on-off button
what
I
about
like.
the band?
Yeah, the band sucks. It's too tight.
Okay.
Look, that's out as far as it goes.
Yeah, that's maximum extension.
And really, it must really hurt Stu because he's got a way bigger head than me.
Get out. Yep.
Yeah.
Alright. So we'll sum this up. Bands two things we like. We love the performance of the screens themselves. The reception was fine. I need to get some better manuals because they're in Chinese. The instructions are in Chinese too in the OSD in here. I'm not too sure how quad diversity is going to go. It seems to be a bit of a gimmick. But nice, big, bright OLED screens. Looks fantastic. It is slightly uncomfortable in terms of pressing on your head, too tight, and they need better protection on these parts. So some sort of way, because that's just, I agree, too dangerous to have that flopping around and the fans too noisy.
Yeah, I really think the part about uncomfortable all comes back to this band. It's just a bit.
Yeah.
It's a Chinese head, not for us.
Not a big Westerner head.
Yeah, and that then you'd get the comfort level will be okay then because that's the only thing. It's
was any of this bit uncomfortable?
No, that was quite good.
Yeah.
I thought that was okay, but I'd put that down to the band being uncomfortable. But
nice.
Other than that, too dear, overpriced, but work well.
Okay, nice. Thanks, Trev. All right, Granger, you Fatshark fanboy. So here we've got some competitors for you. You love your OLEDs, you love your analog, you love your racing. You know, what do you think about the X Flip we've got right here?
Yeah.
New goggle makers on the market, son.
It looks very futuristic with the mirror sort of image on the front, screen.
Can you see yourself in it?
It sort of scares me what I see in there.
It's a bit of a shame,
it is. Yeah.
Don't crack it.
The quad diversity, I feel like that's pointless, and it always has been, because a lot of people really don't have issues with normal diversity, and I don't see why you would need another whole
Do you think you could
module.
even race with just like a one antenna at a race?
Yeah, I know BMS Thomas did it for a long time. He just used one antenna. He never used two. So you don't really... For races, this is going to be completely pointless. For long-range people, maybe. But, you know, it always is going to depend on what modules you put in there and what sort of patches and stuff you use.
Yeah,
So,
they're going to make a much bigger difference. Yep.
yeah. It also makes it a lot more expensive because now you have to buy another module. And... yeah, they look, honestly, they feel a bit cheap compared to the Fatsharks or the Omways or anything else like that. So that might be another downfall. And for the price they seem to be pretty overpriced. But, you know, maybe I'll like them. So
let's
have
go
a look.
for a rip, man. See what you think. See if they fit on your head now you've cut all the hair off.
It's still not going to fit on my buff head. Oh, yeah, it's a bit tight. It sort of sucks onto my face a bit, like the Prometheus movie, whatever you'd want to call it.
Like an alien.
Like an alien just stuck on my face.
No, that's Trevor.
Ooh.
Trevor's lips are all over you.
Oh, that's cool how you can twist them. I've never seen that before.
I actually prefer that to the HDO2s, to be honest.
Never seen that before. Yeah, the picture size seems very similar to my 4x3.
I'm going to spin you around here so I can get you in the sun and give you a radio as well. So put that in your pocket.
Yeah, the picture size seems pretty similar to the HD3s. What I run.
Can you stop growing, by the way? Jesus, look at you next to Trevor. It's like, it makes us look like an Oompa Loompa, mate. That's ridiculous.
Just growing up, man.
All right, Granger. Happy birthday. Arm switch is up here.
Yeah, sweet. Well, the drone sort of has to be plugged in for me to fly it. So.
Then I plug it in.
Come on, FPV Grandpa.
I put it in the right spot.
Oh, look at that picture quality. Oh.
What are you talking about? You being
I
serious?
like that. Yeah, it's like really warm colours. It's nice.
I thought it was dark colours. Okay. All right. Go for it.
That one? Ooh.
Yep, that's it. You're away.
Ooh.
There are no gates or anything. I want you just to take it easy, mate, and focus on the goggles, the screens, all that sort of stuff. None of this fancy pants flying that you know you can show off and do.
So, yeah, no, look, the colours are very warm in the sun. Now, I'm getting a bit of orange. I feel like they're a bit too colourful. So when I look at the chimney when the sun's shining on it, it looks very orange.
Like oversaturated?
Yeah,
Okay.
It's hard to explain. Like in the dark parts, like when you look at the trees in the shadow, I feel like you can actually really see the shadow more than if you were just flying with normal goggles, like HDOs or something like that. Yeah, it's where the sun shines, where there's no shade, it looks really good, but it doesn't seem to like the shadows as much, if that makes sense. Seems to be a bit darker.
All right.
And not as colourful. I am getting some weird white flickering in the sky, and I don't know if that's just the quad, or the goggles, like right now. But yeah, if that shows up in the DVR, we'll have to...
Are they comfy on your face?
They are not. See, I feel like they're too thin. So they're
you
just,
want a wider faceplate?
A wider faceplate would definitely help. But in terms of reception right now, haven't had anything crazy yet.
All right, could you, because this is a new competitor on the goggle market, could you race with these?
Could I? Yeah, you could definitely race at these. It wouldn't be an issue.
Do you think they're worth 200,
but they're not. I wouldn't.
$350?
No one should really buy these for racing because yeah, you could buy a lot better stuff out there than these. So these are just way too overpriced. What they are. They're at the end of the day, they're still doing the same thing that any other goggle does, but for a bigger price tag. So
What about like HDO2s then?
I would prefer them because they're just a known brand, and you know it's like Apple, you know, you're paying for the brand, but these, not many people know about them, so they could have, I don't know, issues down the track and stuff like that.
Yeah,
so
we don't know about customer service.
Yeah, that's right. So look, I don't think it's worth it. If you're going to spend this much, I'd much rather either spend a little bit more on the DJI stuff or get the HDO2s or anything Fatshark branded. So look, I don't think these are really worth it for what a lot of us are going to be doing, but you know, if you've got a bit of money to spend and you like to, you know,
Try
experiment,
something new,
then go for it.
All
They're
right.
definitely not the worst goggle
What
you've given us.
would you say for XFlip as a company who have put a goggle out?
Is this their first goggle?
Yeah, yeah, I think so.
As their first goggle, they're definitely on the right track. I definitely know that, you know, other companies have had lots worse first goggles, and not even first goggles. Like, there's been some terrible ones. So these guys are on the right track, and if they keep, you know, if they start listening to what the pilots want, then yeah, I reckon they'll come up with something good.
All right, and you didn't like the quad diversity? You think that was a bit of a gimmick?
It is definitely a gimmick. You don't need it.
All right, thanks, Granger.
No worries.
Alrighty, so final thoughts on the XFlip. First and foremost, things that I want to change, because I do think they're a good goggle. I just think they're kind of a little bit pricey. It's a tricky market to be in, but if they could change these things, I think that would be a much better goggle. So if you're listening, XFlip, I know this is a trial test version. Change some of these things and it's going to be much better suited. Number one, this head strap, whatever it is it's made for like kids. There is no way that this is going to stretch that comfortably over my head. It is way too tight. And if you've got an even bigger buff head than mine, I know I've got a pretty big head, but you know, the strap, that's at maximum adjustment. If you had this any smaller, I don't know what's this for, like a cat or something? I don't know whose face is going to be crammed in there, so change that. It's very, very comfortable on your face. I love the face plate, but it's so tight once I'm stretching this. It's being stretched so much, it's being pulled far too much into my face. Trevor found that as well, I think Granger, so yeah, that part I didn't like. The modules on the outside, the quad diversity, I need a little bit more information when it comes to how does that react to the menus, when is it actually switching between the two, all that sort of stuff. And also, please, 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 what you can do. It doesn't have to be an injection molded piece. XFlip, when you've got these goggles, think of, you should buy a module of it. You should buy a rapid fire, you should buy a clear view, you should buy any single module that is out there, right? So even some of the real ACC ones, whatever it's gonna be, and you need to send people out a custom print of each one you've got here. So you might have, so we can then have a plastic shell that we can put on the outside that is going to fit all those different modules, or even maybe one big chunky piece with some little pieces of foam or something you can put over the top, so then we can use it. Because as it stands at the moment, the cases, the shells that you sent, they don't work with my Wildfire. They're probably not going to fit with my Rapid Fire. It doesn't fit that nicely, and now I've got them loose hanging on the outside. So maybe even a little clip or a band. You know what, that's a decent idea. What about if you just put a little clip that you could have that went from the top to the bottom, even if you had two parts and a rubber band? I don't know. Something needs to be done so you don't have these loose parts hanging around the outside. I would wish they'd ship with some antennas. Mine didn't. As far as the battery cable goes, this battery cable, it's not my favorite. Why? I wish at this end you just had an XT60. That's like the Sky Zone goggles. So then I can just charge them off any single LiPo. This is going to be sitting in my pocket anyway. So, or even just a little adapter so I could plug them into my XT60. And then the other part, fix up that fan, because look, it is very, very noisy. I'm not too sure what's going on there, but I must say, with all that aside, that sounds like a lot of negatives. I know they are $355, which is a very, very tough sell in today's market, because you are so close to a DJI system, which might be $400 or $450 on sale, or you know, $500 off sale. Getting very, very pricey, I guess, for an analog set of goggles. But I want to say this too, overall, XFlip, I think you've done a kind of pretty good job. They're not my favorite goggles. Are they better than the OLEDs and the HDO2s and the Sky Zones? Nah, I don't think so. Do they give them a run for their money? Absolutely. Have you done a good job with your first goggle? Yes. If you can fix up those couple of things, the headset, change the fan, and get some better parts on the outside and the menus work, well, then you definitely have a bit of a fight on your hands in the analog FPV space. But I'd love to know, what do you guys think? Of course, I don't know what the customer service is like, which is one thing, which is SkyZone and Fatshark have both been getting very, very good reviews for in terms of customer service. If you got something wrong and you can send it back, all that sort of stuff. The SkyZones and the Fatshark seem to be doing it very, very well. XFlip, they're a new company on the block. How are they going to last? I don't know. How's the customer service going to be? I don't know. There's a few variables that come into play, but I wish XFlip all the best. More FPV companies in the space is going to be better for us consumers and as hobbyist pilots, so I can't wait. Well, I say, bring it on. Let's get the goggle wars happening. Other than that, subscribe for more FPV related content. Give me a thumbs up for Granger, thumbs down for Grumpy Trev, whatever it's going to be. On that, subscribe for more FPV related content, and as always, happy flying. I don't know too, this silver part at the front, just for me, it feels a bit tacky. I don't know. Not for me.